Hello, Kim.
Well, here we are, last episode of the first round of the show. What a journey it's been.
It has
Reflections?
been. I just read a comment about someone binge watching 5 or 6 episodes all at once. And I can imagine she had to go and have a lie down afterwards. But no, she said it was great. I don't know. I kind of feel like this is just going to get a lot of people talking about different things. And I want to try and even if the show just gives people a little bit more confidence to go and try something different, and I'm so passionate about learning solutions not having to be on an LMS, doesn't need to be. Really working out what is just in time training and what needs to be tracked. I think if we can change a little bit of a mindset, then I'll be happy with that. So
very cool.
What about you?
Yeah, I am just wowed by the diversity and perspectives and the creativity, and I love the sharing that's happening. I love the enthusiasm that's happening by the participants, everyone that watches as well. I just think the energy around it is just phenomenal. I've said it before. I'm super pumped about this episode. Couple of reasons. Guest is an epic hero, and also the submissions. We only have one failure to submit, so that means we're looking at 7 examples, and they're all really, really good. So I'm super excited for that. For you guys that are joining us on the last episode of Brief Number 1, this is the show. It is a learning design competition that is voted on by peers across the industry using YouTube. So you get to vote for your favorite designs, and they go in a knockout round where they make it to basically the best learning designer of 2020. It's all running in conjunction with the Learning Conference, an event we're putting together in August. And Kath, we've got some multimedia create sessions going on. What can people expect to be creating by participating in the Learning Conference for those sessions?
Okay, so I'm going to be doing a session teaching people how to build an app in Glide, and that's going to be involved. You're going to be basically using a Google Sheet to populate content. Me and you are also doing a session on how to write or things you should really put in proposals or quotes to protect yourself. And we're going to show you a really cool tool that I use to develop my proposals. What else have we got? Melissa Milloway is going. So Melissa Milloway is going to be doing a session on Adobe XD. So I believe that she's going to we're not going to start right at the beginning, but she's going to give a example, and everyone will be able to open up Adobe and work that way. There's other good ones. I'm not going to give everything away. We want them to go to the website and have a look.
Let's get into the show then. Check out the website in your own time, but let's have a look at episode 8. Get into the show, Kath.
I'll do it.
Yes, ma'am. All right, today's special guest on this episode is Tameka Harris. Drum roll, massive drum roll, and the crowd goes wild. Tameka is the flyest, most stylish instructional designer in the industry, in my opinion. Wait till you see her on screen in a second. She's always looking so cool. She's got the matching stuff. What I really appreciate about you, Tameka, is your enthusiasm and your drive to help new people in the industry and to mentor them. And I think that's just phenomenal to allow people to have access to you and help them get started early in their career. So welcome to the show. We're really excited to have you.
Yeah. I'm so excited to be here. Thank you so very much, Kim and Kath. It's an honor. Really, it is a privilege.
It is our honor. Thank you very much.
Yes. All right. I'm going to take you through the brief. And for participants that haven't watched the show, but it looks like a lot of people are following on with the show, basically, Liberty City, a local government, has their L&D manager has gone, hey, we need some help with helping our community for COVID-19. So we need to get some content out and keep our community up to date. We have a budget of 25,000 fake dollars from some random currency in the world. And basically it needs to fit all ages. They want it to be future-proof because things are changing rapidly. And yeah, basically we are looking for what tool are you going to build this in? Why is your solution the best option? And how can it be future-proof? So this is a fun and flexible brief. Let's introduce our first participants.
All right, let's do this. Sorry, we've got a bit of echo happening. So we have Aashma, who's a student at university, and we have Rekha, who is an e-learning developer at Nutanix. Okay, now Aashma says that she enjoys learning the art of learning. And Aashma, unfortunately, I've got Chewy. He's disappointed as well. She did not submit a proposal, so we'll move on to.
But everyone else has submitted.
Rekha.
So I'm so excited.
Yeah, she's the only person that hasn't on this episode. So we've got lots and lots of content to get through. So I'm Rekha, who has been always passionate about learning and development industry. I have completed my engineering degree in information science, and I started my career as a technical educational specialist. I always enjoy simplifying complex technical concepts. Let's take a look at what Rekha submitted for us.
All right, so you can see here, Rise, a common tool. She's done her mock-up in Articulate Rise, and why she likes this as the solution, it's rapid to develop for those constant changes. It's responsive and it works across devices, so very functional. It's also very easy for people to learn if they haven't used the tool in Liberty City before, and it's easy to make updates and have collaboration on feedback. Now, what's really cool is on the screen, her questions are actually written in first person. So it's very action focused from that instructional design perspective, where it's asking, you know, what are my symptoms or what may I be facing right now? Where can I get help? So that's the kind of call to action she has encouraged through her solution. Well. What are our thoughts, Kath? Tell me about your first impressions here.
Yeah, well, you know, we've already seen some examples using Articulate Rise, and you know, we've agreed that it certainly is a tool that can very easily be updated, even if you use, for example, even if an instructional designer did work on this tool and then handed it over to a client. Maybe it was built in their tenant or it was transferred over to them. I can't remember if Rise does that. But at least the work's been done. The client can then do wording changes. You know, they might find it hard to do the structural changes. So I think that that's a great thing. I also sometimes am very conflicted by having images and also icons, but these icons look quite nice. And you know, they look like quite clean. So if there was lots of different types of imagery, I'd maybe say, oh no, you know, maybe that isn't as clean. But, you know, I think that this is, you know, what can you do? COVID-19. I mean, you're a bit kind of restricted. So we're seeing a lot of these types of icons, but they work very well, don't they?
Yeah, I forgot to mention, Tameka, part of the brief is that it needs to be vibrant, minimal and conversational as well. So we are looking for that through here. So
yes.
What's your impression on this example?
Well, you know, vibrant is my word. I love the word vibrant. If I could be described in one word, that would be my word. Vibrancy allows the learner to really dig in and engage from a visual standpoint. It makes it's almost like a hug when you can sprinkle some vibrancy into your learning and development solution. I really love the fact that she decided to use Rise, especially with a topic like COVID-19. We know that there are a lot of uncertainties with this disease. We know that there is a lot of updates with this disease. So Articulate Rise is a great choice, especially when it comes to collaboration with the stakeholders, SMEs, and others on her team to create it. I currently use Articulate Rise to push some fresh new training out there quickly. And so I'm really excited about her use of Articulate Rise.
Nice. That's cool.
Totally agree. Totally agree. In fact, I think Nick Petch mentioned that, didn't he, as well, Kim? You know, he said having good design draws you in straight away. There's nothing worse than seeing something that doesn't have a very, strong design presence.
First impressions, they do make
Absolutely. Absolutely. So that was a great job, Rekha. Good job. Now we've got Mark. Mark is an e-learning developer, e-learning developer, instructional designer, and consultant. And we've got Liga, who's a graphic designer at Faster Course. And we had Carlis in episode 6 from Faster Course as well. So let's have a look at what Mark submitted. Mark has been working with clients from the commercial, higher education, government, and non-profit sector for 10 years to create effective and engaging online learning experiences. So this is what Mark has submitted. Now, there's 2 pages, so I'll show you this one first, and then I'll go backwards.
Yeah, cool. All right, so Mark is suggesting WordPress, specifically the Divi theme, and also Adobe Illustrator for his initial designs. He wants to eliminate the need to purchase a standalone authoring tool. I like that he hasn't assumed that the client already has an authoring tool, because that's not something they disclosed in the brief. And with WordPress, he's saying clients can make edits easily to the text graphics and add new questions if required. And he's also considered training the client in how to use WordPress afterwards as part of his solution, so that they can keep it sustainable by themselves when he's no longer engaged. He's talking about collecting email addresses for future updates to push notifications out. And this is actually a gamified solution. So if you want to flick to the other screens, I'll talk people through what is going on. But what he's gone through now is he's got his instructional design hat on. He's going, let's go. You're going to travel through Liberty City and take on challenges to help build the behaviors that he's trying to encourage in the community of Liberty City. So, for example, here we go take a visit to our grandma's house. She's lonely. She doesn't get visitors, and she also doesn't really know how to use video call. She wants to have a chat though, and she's 82, and at this point she has no signs of illness. So then he's saying, well, what do you do? So you've got 3 choices on screen, and he's basically saying, get over there, give her a big cuddle and a squeeze and tell her you love her, or wash your hands before you leave, sanitize before you get through the door, or option 3 is stay home and use the phone instead. Now, on the last screen there where you've got feedback, he's gone in, and this is where the learning is happening. So he's giving real life consequences. He's communicating his information based on the learner's decision. So, Tameka, what are your thoughts on Mark's submission here?
I think his submission looks really clean. I'm really, really excited about his submission. It's vibrant. It's engaging from a visual standpoint. You want to get into it as a learner. I have never, though, thought about using WordPress as an authoring solution. So I will have to look into that myself. I appreciate him teaching us how to do that. One thing, though, that I am concerned about, or rather had thought about, was like, his constituents, whoever he's working with, his teammates would definitely have to have some kind of knowledge about WordPress in a sense, right? To know how to update various content pieces, So that is something that you have to look into as a learning developer. Do your stakeholders, your SMEs, your teammates know how to use the tool? I have been behind the scenes in WordPress, and it can get a little bit hairy. So just being cognizant of the tool that you're using, and can others truly update it the way that you expect them to?
Yeah,
well, Oh,
sorry, you
go
Kath.
on. No, I
No,
was
you go.
just going to say that is a brilliant point, and that leads to something else that I think is quite powerful about WordPress, Tameka. You can actually, when a developer hands over a website to a client, clients can screw things up, right? If a client doesn't know what they're doing, they can really make a mess of things. So I'd normally talk to clients and say, how savvy are you? And if they say, oh, I'm not so sure, I might not give them a administrator access. I might give them a lower level access, but you can also add plugins that you can take away all of the bump that is kind of complicated and settings that they don't even need to look at. And you can strip it back. So an editor, all they need to do is go in and literally be able to click on a page. Or Divi allows for some you can customize some fields and things like that. So you can just give them the access to the things that they need and not have to worry about everything else. Because you're right, the back of WordPress, if you don't know what you're doing, when you're new to it, it's not very user friendly. It's been the same for years and years. So, but I do believe that you can do some really, really nice stuff with WordPress if you know how to work with it. And you know the plugins that are available out there. Yeah.
What I also like about his submission is that it looks to be not resolution. What's the other word? When you can change it from the desk. Responsive. That's the word.
Yeah.
It looks like it could be very responsive. So on the go, mobile, which we know is critical when we're talking about COVID-19.
Absolutely. That's good job, Mark. Can't wait to see the next one. All right, so we've had a look at that. We've now got Liga, and Liga says, I'm in love with graphic design. And here is Liga's submission.
Right. Well, I think her submission does reflect her love of graphic design, and we'll get to see a few more samples, but let me just take you through it. So she's going to open with a splash page, which is hosting the important information. That's what we're looking at here. And she's got 6 little tabs, basically those white things that are the key things that her users are saying, like, this is where you need to find the information that's relevant, most relevant to you, we believe. And then the menu there is going, here's where everything else is, which is a behavior that we're very familiar with using apps and websites. Her tool, she's saying a responsive web app. She hasn't specifically specified which one, but that's okay. Maybe that's part of the discussion that she would be having with the client. But she doesn't want it to be mobile friendly, accessible, on the go. And she actually specifically mentions accessibility. So she's talking about, you'll see some of her screens, the contrast of the text. Specifically here, she does mention it with the colors on the background and it being legible. And the contrast checker tool, if you just Google it, you'll be able to put your colors in to make sure that it is working for those accessibility needs. Now, what you're looking at there at the moment is a self-check test for the community of Liberty City. And she's basically going, well, do you want to find out if you're ill? Or do you qualify for a test at home, maybe? And she's saying, I want to focus on minimal graphics unless they're going to add value, because I don't want to take away from the most important information that is relevant to the end user. And at the bottom of her landing page, splash page, she actually has access to the emergency numbers. So there's a big emergency number there. You can see it standing out. Red is that capture attention kind of color. And then she's got access to the socials, where of course you have access to comments and discussions to really engage back with Liberty City Council. So what are we thinking, Kath? Impressions on this one?
Well, I love it. I mean, something like this, you could build quite easily in Webflow, for example. I mean, she's used a very, very simple but beautiful graphic here. I'm trying to think what this is. It's got a term, but I love this style. I love people who draw with Procreate, and it's not all clean. It's a little bit kind of rough and ready. But yeah, absolutely love it. I love the style, love the things that she's thinking about, you know, not overloading them with too much and unnecessary stuff. It's just getting right down to it. Someone can get to this page and go right into it and get the information that they need. So yeah, very effective. And if I may say so, I think it looks beautiful, the design. So
Tameka,
what do you think, Tameka?
Yeah, Kath said everything that I wanted to say. I think that when we think about healthcare and instructing in the healthcare world, this is the linchpin of what we want to see as learners and viewers. We want to see something that gives us the information, but softens the cognitive load a bit for us to really drink it in, if in other words. That's why I love her use of animation in a way, because it really softens that cognitive load, allows me to really dig into the information and get what I need. I love the splash page approach. I think that she's brilliant, and she is what I call an instructional graphic designer, no doubt about it. Technical in every way, to think about accessibility, contrast, topography. I mean, she's got it all right here. And what I love about it is her web flow. She understands how humans use the internet, and we love cards and bubbles. We love all of that. And so she has hit the mark with her submission. Kudos.
Yeah, good job, Liga.
I just want to draw attention to this one as well. I just think people should pay attention to the presentation of this. So the example is there, but look at this yellow block at the side, the text that's overlapping, the text that then points back to explain something in the example. I think this is something really important as learning designers when we're trying to communicate ideas across to stakeholders. This presentation, there's lots of templates for free on the internet that you can download to show your work in this way, because that first impressions is really key. And the other side of it is not all learning designers are great graphic designers. Don't be afraid to partner on that. You know, there are lots of people out there that you're the strengths in your space and you've got the passion in your space, and there's an equal version of you doing it for the graphic side. So look for those people on Upwork or Fiverr, or ask for help on LinkedIn or Instagram, and just partner, because the graphics can take your learning design to the next level.
I agree with that. I think there are so many that I glean from: the Connie Malamed, it's so many others that talk about visual communications, right? And so it is highly important to know where to put content on the page, and it just makes learning all the more greater when it is placed well.
Yeah. I'll tell you what else I do, Tameka. I personally go onto Dribbble every day. Do you know what Dribbble is?
Yes.
Yeah. Dribbble is brilliant because you really get to see how the how really great design, well, you see really great designs, but you see how design is changing. You see new trends. And for me, I then take it into whatever I'm working in and I try and copy it, you know, not copy, but I take the best bits of it and I try and go, oh, how did they do that? You know, if I see a cool little animation, how can I do that in Articulate? How can I do that something else?
Yeah, I'm a template girl. I will restructure a template in a heartbeat, you know, and make it my own. So I agree with you. Copying in that way is how you strengthen your muscle as as an instructional graphic visual communicator.
Yeah.
So yeah,
absolutely agree with you. Yeah, great job. All right, so this is are we on to third now? This is our third couple. We've got Sarah, who's an analyst, online learning and organizational effectiveness systems. I don't know how I said that, at JetBlue. And we've got Matt, who is a learning experience designer at Macquarie Bank. And Matt's another fellow Aussie that we know. All right. So Sarah is a learning experience designer who just recently graduated from New York University's Digital Media Design for Learning program. She has over 2 years of experience designing learning solutions, and currently she's working at JetBlue Airways in New York City. And this is what Sarah has submitted for us.
All right. So her tool for design is going to be Illustrator or Canva. So two design tools. And she wants to then build it in 360. If you guys go and check out the actual Miller note, you can have a look at her prototype link because she lets you interact with it. And basically she's saying she wants to host her images on Google Drive and Flickr so that they can just be updated there with the codes as opposed to having to republish and re-upload. So she's hosting stuff outside. And I think that helps with like file size and stuff like that. So she really wants to put emphasis on the most vital information only. So it's need to know, not information overload. And that's where you can see like she's got very clear headings, the dot points. This is what we're talking about here kind of stuff, stats up the top. And what she's saying, that she wants to insert it into any website and it's going to get in there as a web object. What are your thoughts, Tameka?
Need to know versus nice to know is the constant pull on an instructional designer. I don't care. The best of us get caught up in, need to know versus nice to know. And so it's good to know that she is right on the money with the side of need to know. I think we have all been inundated with COVID-19. So it's good to just have a resource that cuts to the chase, right? Some things we want to kind of keep in mind is topography, making sure that everybody can read what you are sharing well. So that would be one area of encouragement that I would share. It's great to use color, it's great to use fonts and things like that, but we just want to make sure that they are accessible, but also readable. Depending on how small your screen is, how, it's very important to keep that in mind.
Yeah, very interesting. I mean, as well as if this was a web object, it'd be really interesting to see how a screen reader would read that, would read the data back to, someone has a visual impairment, Tameka, how that would essentially be read out by a screen reader. So, if it was an image-based web object, which it wouldn't be because the total cases and the total deaths and the figures would need to be updatable. But
so I think she's suggesting 360. It would be published that way.
Right. Okay.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So in that sense, she'd be using some kind of JavaScript to bring the numbers in, so I suppose it would be. Yeah, I've actually never done any. It's really interesting. I've never done any testing on a website with a articulate storyline web object in there. How it works with a screen reader. Have you ever done anything like that, Kim? No. But this is the nice thing about the show. It gives us things to ponder and think about, and
right.
Yeah, for sure, and have conversations about.
I think I'm most in awe at all the different kinds of tools she's using, because it's almost like a highway in and out. This is going to project here, and I think I've had conversations with my colleagues on the use of different tools and what's going to project where as a web object. The only thing is making sure that those web objects stay up and running. There could always be a broken link somewhere, and just making sure that you're on top of that would be something to always, keep top of mind.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a chap who's his name is Matthew Bibby or Matt Bibby, and he's one of the articulate. He may not be an articulate hero, but he's a hero to me. He knows how to hack, articulate storyline to bits. And he's done a lot of tutorials on his website on how you can actually, so you could upload this into, so instead of embedding the links in, you're kind of embedding the links somewhere else so that you can go there and you can change data on the fly. So if a link died, you're not actually having to re-upload the course. The link lives somewhere else. So
yeah, I need to look at that video.
Yeah, he's got a lot of tutorials that are just fantastic like that.
Yeah.
That are great for things like this. But yeah, this was a great great submission.
I love her ingenuity on just using different tools to make authoring work for her and her solution. So kudos.
Yeah, great job. Awesome. Now, another Aussie, Matt, and he says, I've been working in learning and development fields since 2007, starting as a classroom facilitator and workplace assessor, then moving into instructional design and now learning experience design. My goal is to create an impactful learning experiences that solve business problems and produce measurable performance improvements. So let's get into it and have a look at Matt's submission.
All right. So there's 2 slides to this, so you can flick through them and give people a look. But basically, the tool he's creating in is Canva. And he says this is the tool because there's no coding. They've got custom templates, which Tameka's going to love. It's responsive for devices, and it's got one-click publishing. He says he's got a simple design here. It's quite intuitive to appeal to the different age groups. And that's why he's got icons with just minimal text. It's not text heavy when we look at his designs. It's just wham, bam, this is what you see, this is what you get. The emphasis that he wants to put on is localized info. I think that's quite cool. So what is happening specific to Liberty City and the community there? So he's drawing attention to, this is where you live, this is what you should care about, not maybe what's going on in the world or the news that is being pushed on you. And he's saying, look, clients can make updates themselves using this tool, but as part of his offering, he said, I will offer you training in the tool to make sure that you're able to make those updates post my engagement. And in there, he's saying his icons have been made by Freepik, Freepik, and flaticon.com is the place to go.
I use Flaticon, and I can, these types of line icons are very popular, and I have to say they look great as well. So good job with those, Matt. I'll quickly say something before we hand over to you, Tameka. I love that the solutions that we've got coming forward, Kim, are talking about, we'll train them, or people are putting clients on a potential retention so that they can keep updating, and I think that's great because you're kind of you're always going to be at the back of the client's mind instead of just saying, here you go, handing it over and that's us done. It's kind of a great way, especially as a freelancer, to have that client coming back to you on a regular basis. And so yeah, definitely taking the time to train them. And I always find with jobs like that, I can go back and I can make another suggestion to a client that they'll love, and then that kind of pulls me back into the project as well. Tameka, you go ahead. I'm a bletherer, by the way, so you just say, shut up, Kath, it's my turn.
No, listen, I'm here to learn. I really agree with you, Kath. I think that e-learning is hard enough as it is. So when we can make the life of a client better, that is always great. And then another thing that I always share with folks is e-learning is a living document. What's seemingly done and ready today is always going to change tomorrow. And so having a way of maintenance and constant adjusting and or being the instructional designer who can lend a helping hand along the way is stellar. But upon first glance of his solution, my cognitive load has gone way down. My cognitive anxiety is what I call it has gone way down. The ability, it looks like, to just click on different icons makes sense. And one thing that you mentioned, Kim, that I totally dig that he did was connect COVID to the community. And so making it real and making it practical for the people of Liberty City is absolutely wonderful. That is something we have to do as instructional designers is make sure the solution is valuable to our audience.
Yeah, totally agree with you. And wouldn't it be nice if we could deliver a lot more content that was more like this, instead of clients saying, "Oh, can you put all this text?" You say,
"Yeah,
nope. Yeah. What's another way that we can do this?" So yeah, it looks really great. And like you said, Tameka, you're not going to have a cognitive overload going through this content, especially at times like this, where it is kind of scary. It's scary in Australia, it's scary in America, it's affecting everywhere. So
everywhere, yeah.
Really good.
I think what I love too is that a human being can definitely fill in the gap where we kind of feel like we have to have text. Let us fool around with it a little bit as a learner or a viewer. Let's look around and click things. We want to do that as human beings. So I really enjoy the fact that I really enjoy the fact that he decided to use icons, something a lot softer to the brain, especially when you're talking about something so serious as COVID.
Yeah. I think to get there as well, it's important, don't use a device, because when you sit down at a device, you go to write text. If you pick up a pen and paper, you draw. So draw shapes and make connection between the shapes for that user journey. And I think that gets you out of your head of the nice to know information dump. What's all the text that I could possibly tell them? And when you think in shapes by actually drawing, it really changes the state of your brain and how you think about the solution that you're trying to create.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm trying to remember if we got 2 more. We do. We got two more. How can I forget Troy? So we've got Troy, who's another fellow Aussie. He's manager agency learning and development at Qantas Airways. And we've got Ridvan, who's an e-learning developer and a freelancer. He is a freelancer. So Troy says, "I'm accomplished learning experience."
Share your screen there, please.
My apologies. I'm jumping the gun.
You're just hogging all these fellows to yourself.
I am. So this is Troy. He says, "I'm accomplished learning experience designer, specializing in the tourism industry, developing innovative, engaging, and creative learning experiences. I'm currently completing a graduate certificate in e-learning at UNE, and I'm always looking for the next opportunity to enhance my skills and knowledge. I have a wealth of experience building innovative, creative, and engaging learning experiences in tools such as Articulate Storyline 360, Articulate Rise, Glide apps, as well as Beyond and Google Earth Studio." So let's have a look at what Troy submitted.
All right. So Troy, massive shout out to you, because you have liked and shared and just done so much in terms of supporting the show. And we're very grateful for all that support and love that you're giving it. So thank you so much. I want people to pay particular attention to this solution, because Kath said her session at the beginning that she's going to run at the Learning Conference is using Glide app and Google Sheets. And this is exactly the solution that Troy has come up with and said, this is what I propose for it. So,
I want to say that I would love to say that Troy and I have actually gone back and forth a little bit on LinkedIn. He actually has built a Glide app, and he also submitted to speak at the conference in exactly the topic that I'm doing.
Oh, serious?
So I do want to try and we are. So I do want to try and find a way that I can get Troy involved in my session. You know, if not, we can both do it together or something, you know. So kudos to you, Troy. Let's have a look at the solution, because I actually think, as you believe, Troy, this is a game changer of a tool as well. So you go ahead, Kim. I'll give you permission to speak.
Thank you, Master. Thank you, Master. All right. So Glide Apps Pro and Google Sheets is the tool, and it is mobile responsive. Now, Google Sheets acts as a CMS. This is a content management system. I said something different in a different episode, but basically what it says is that clients can edit the Google Sheet, and this updates the app. So that picture, that visual you're seeing there, and there's more on the next slide, all you have to do is edit things in a Google Sheet, and it will delete buttons, it will add buttons. I just think that's really, really cool. He wants to use a short URL or QR code to share for maximum exposure. He's focusing on the need to know information. So again, instructional design coming in here, focusing on things like the case numbers, having a symptom checker, which are those buttons that you can just jump straight to from the homepage. And he has really drawn attention to the look and feel, and that as an important factor of his submission. He's saying, look, COVID is negative. There's emotional connotations that are negative around this, and I don't want this solution for Liberty City to reflect that. So he's saying, I want vibrancy, I want bright colors, I want emotion coming through from the colors. And I think he does that well if you share his couple of screens.
Absolutely.
So, Tameka, what do you think? We'll digest actually first, because have a little moment to digest the look and feel. But this is the Glide app. It's literally updated by a Google Sheet, and then it turns out this way. What do you reckon? Are you impressed?
I am totally impressed. I really love the ingenuity with less tools, right? Like, you know, cut to the chase. It's fabulous. It looks so great and vibrant. You know, I love orange. It's one of my colors. And what I really enjoy is that, oh God, I had a brain fart. Oh shoot. Kath, I know you got me on the edit.
Yeah. You know,
shucks. What was I about to say?
I'll jump in for one. Yeah, go.
Mm-hmm. No, I really enjoy the fact that he's using Google Docs and Sheets and things like that. Like, that is easy. I've actually used that a lot too, because it does automatic saving, right? And so the fact that you don't lose your work as you're working, Google is so great for that. So I love his I love his visual appeal, his visual communications. Things look placed well. It looks really clean, and I just love it. I want it right now. I want to play with it.
Yep. Yeah, love it. You know, I've been digging deep in Glide for quite a long time, and it's also got a really nice community behind it. That's just it's like articulate heroes, really. So what's great is you can reach out, you can ask people for help, people will problem solve. You can also hire an expert to, you know, if you're really stuck with something. These don't. So the difference is these don't go out to the World Wide Web. Sorry, they don't go up to the App Store. They do stay on the World Wide Web. So, but you can white label them. So, for example, the conference app that we're building is in Glide. And my session will be giving everybody a copy of the conference app without all the private information. And we will basically, I'll show, here's the data on the Google Sheet. Let me show you how to build this, right? Mm-hmm. So what's nice about Glide is you can white label it. So we've been able to make it app.thelearningconference.online instead of it being something at Glide Apps. So they've got different levels, they've got communities. It's fantastic. So yeah, brilliant job.
I love the options too. The buttons, you could, it looks like you could turn things on and off. Yeah. That is really cool.
Yeah. So the fact that you can put different types of buttons and different things all together, it's awesome. So Troy, well done. Nice one. You know I'm going to be in touch with you. So don't fret. I did your accent there, Kim. Didn't sound very good though, did it?
Not very good. I didn't think so myself, to be honest. But anyway.
Oh, when she talks Irish. Okay. We'll have a look at Ridvan's. Okay. So Ridvan used to work as an EFL teacher until I met the articulate community. I just wanted to learn how to make quiz games for my students. Since then, I've been helping many people and companies to make the learning process more effective to them. So let's have a look at what Ridvan has submitted. And this looks great too.
Yeah.
This was a really hard episode, you know, Tameka, because we had so many great submissions.
So many great submissions.
Yeah. Well, look, what he's presenting here is Articulate 360. And what I love is you, on first look, you wouldn't know that that was what it was. He's got some great design, look and feel going on here. I love that his passion for the, you know, where he's come from has shone through, and that he loved the community. And then that's where he's now pursued. So that's very exciting for me. He's saying Articulate 360, ease of use, focus on attractive design. I think he's captured that very well. And he's saying he wants to use fluent and engaging interactions. So let's have a chat about the look and feel here. What are your thoughts in terms of, you know, attractiveness to the eye, wanting to interact with it? What do you think?
Do you want me to go first, Tameka? Or are you going to go?
This is what I call, I'll go, Kath. This is what I call yummy design. It's yummy. It just is yummy. It looks good. It feels good. I might not even know what you're talking about, but from glancing, it just makes me feel like I can get into it as a learner, as a viewer. So I love that. I love clean, flat design. I love design that, you know, even with the head, the symptoms panel, you know, it looks like there's a little bit of interaction there. I love cards. We love that as humans. It's not just me. I think we all love that. You know, the pill buttons. You can't go wrong with a good pill button now, you know.
Yeah, I'm a fan girl.
Good pill button is everything. So yeah, kudos on the design. I think it looks fresh, and it looks like something you can constantly continue to update.
Yeah, I definitely agree with everything you said, Tameka. It's certainly future-proof, isn't it? It's not going to go out of fashion quickly, even though we hope that COVID goes out of fashion quickly. We hope it goes away soon. But as far as the way he's chunked down the content, this is the way that I like to chunk content down, you know, just nice, palatable, enough for people to explore. Oh, yeah, I want to learn more about that. Great, I can go into it. If not, I can keep moving on. I love that it's very minimal. There's no horrible menus. He's kind of, you know, if he's done it the way that I'm thinking, he's kind of made it. I used to call it. I'm forgetting the term now, but I basically used to take all of the surrounding of articulate away, just so it was. I used to call it something like chromable or something like that. But basically, it's just clean, and it looks like it's a website, basically. You know, so if you put that on it just looks like it was. No, it's all good. It just looks like it was built for mobile first, and I really like that.
I think a great design cue that I get from him and other works that we've seen today in this episode is big chunk font that tells you what you're looking at from first glance, you know. So I love those big, thick, you know, heavy fonts that aren't too heavy where you don't, you know, you can understand what the letters are individually. But that chunk letter title, and then we have the smaller, more light font, if you will, for explaining or chunking down the information.
And you see,
I was just going to say quickly, Kim, Tameka was the perfect person to get on our very last episode of this round, you know, because you see, Kim is a roundist, the pill button, and I'm a fontist. And you just like both. So
we can be friends again.
It's a marriage made in heaven.
You brought us together.
I love it. I love it. I'm here for this kind of modern, flat approach. It's easy. It looks simple. Again, it takes my cognitive anxiety all the way to the ground. And I feel like I can get into the training at hand. There's nothing that's a barrier for me. So kudos to this designer from a visual communication standpoint.
Yeah, I think can I just jump in, Kat? Give me a moment, will you?
I'm talking.
Now there's going to be awkward silence. I'm going to continue talking. What I wanted to say is for people that are looking to do designs like this, where you may not be a graphic designer or have a design background, what you just need to Google is PowerPoint templates. You can download templates from places like Shutterstock, where you can manipulate this style, where they have basically 8 to 10 different layouts of a PowerPoint template laid out. You can just tweak the colors. You can pick the ones that will add value to you. If you don't have editing tools, you can just, jump on Google and have a look at PowerPoint templates, because a lot of people have created very visually attractive things, such as Ridvan's example here, that will really help you make a very great lasting impression on clients, stakeholders, and learners.
Yeah, well, Cass, before you come on, just real quick.
Yeah, settle down,
Canva. Canva has also been my savior when it comes to placement of things on a slide. So Canva also has the ability to, like Kim mentioned, with another tool, Canva has really been monumental for me to know even what fonts look good together. And so that has been helpful. Okay, Kat, I'm done. Go ahead, girl.
Are you sure?
Yes, ma'am. I'm good.
I'm just going to say one very quick thing.
No, I'm playing.
Mic drop.
Uh-oh. We're in trouble.
Go ahead.
So you can see each other and we're not awkwardly.
Well, I want to show this on the screen, right? So see these characters here. I'm going to tell you a secret. You can go to Free Pick. Yeah. Now, they have something that's in the drop-down menu, and it's called Stories. Now, what's beautiful is they've got 4 sets of characters. This is one of the characters, maybe. They're very similar if they're not exactly those set of characters. You can actually put a color on them, so they'll all be exactly the same color. But you can click on a button that's called Animate. And what you can do is you can actually put animations on these. So, you could put like this little hover state. You can put like a heartbeat, so this will like throb. You can put like a wind, and this will blow. You can remove things. So if you went, I like this, but I really don't want these COVID things, you can just click and remove them. And then you can export them out as a GIF, an animated GIF, or an SVG. So if you're looking for something if you're looking for a suite of a load of different images which are exactly the same, go and check it out. Just go and check it out. I think it's, I've got a premium plan, so I have access to it. Not sure if it's available on the free plan, but go and just check it out. It's awesome. That's all I have to say. You always interrupt me, Kim.
That was amazing.
I feel just, I've got to take control of this, Tameka. She is a control freak. No, you're not really. You're not really. She's absolutely brilliant.
I can't see you. That's the problem. So I'm like, fill the awkward silence by talking. All right. Well, Tameka, you're amazing. Thank you for the knowledge and value that you've shared in this episode. We are very grateful to have you and the time that you've dedicated to give your feedback and your insights and what you've shared on the show today.
It's been brilliant.
Kim and Cass, thank you so much for the opportunity. I just was floored by the invitation, and I don't take it lightly. I don't take it for granted. Thank you so very much for just pushing us all to be better designers. And allowing us to kind of sharpen each other as we watch each other grow and develop.
Yeah, absolutely.
Definitely.
That's the hope. That's the hope. So,
yeah.
And it was our pleasure, Tameka. You're absolutely fantastic. We love you.
Oh, thank you. Love you too.
We get to fangirl and fanboy over the humans that we get on here, so it's good.
That's right.
Participants, well done this episode. Get your buddies out there voting so you can.
That's it.
Because this is a competition round. No one's getting an easy pass except for our first round. But get your friends voting. And how can people vote, Kat?
This is the important question. Let me go through it. Up on the top right-hand corner of the YouTube video, there'll be a little dot with an I in it. Just take your mouse and hover over that, or click it, and a little panel will open with the names of people who you can vote for. And you just vote for your favorite entries. It's as simple as that. Well, guys, we will wrap up this very last episode of our round of 64. We're so excited to get these videos out, get voting done, and we will be putting the winners up in the next few days, and we'll be on to our round of 32. So awesome job, guys. See you in the next round.